Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
So I've just found out that none of my friends have gotten me gin for my Happy Meal toy.
It's not our
Frank,
job. It's not our
one,
job.
I asked you to do this. This is a solid.
Yeah,
I'm
but
asking.
I'm not gonna change my eating and spending habits to get you gin. I'm gonna go to McDonald's when I go to McDonald's.
I have every other BTS member except Jin.
Can't
I
you just
got
go
like
on eBay at this point?
7 sugars. No, it's not the same, Hannah. Anyway,
But if she doesn't get gin, she will.
I will if I don't get Jin. Um, Hannah hasn't gone to McDonald's because apparently she doesn't eat fast food. I told her she could then give her dogs fast food, the McNuggets, and she
Not
said
gonna
that's not
do
healthy
that.
for them. Yeah, she said it's not healthy for them. It's
My
gross or
dogs are
whatever.
already overweight. They don't need it.
Yeah, but whatever. A McNugget isn't gonna hurt. Oh, I burped. That was gross. Ugh. Anyway.
All right.
I
Well,
went on a date today.
and how did that go?
It was nice. We went to a little cafe. I got a crepe that had cookie butter and chocolate in it with strawberries and bananas. And I also got some Earl Grey tea, which y'all know me. I'm a big tea drinker. So, and it balanced the sweetness out perfectly. I did text you guys today, though, because I was on a date and we were talking, and I said I was bad at cooking. And he said, "You can't be that bad."
I
And
didn't respond. Sorry.
You know, I gave you a slice of truth pie with my
you
text
did, and
message.
I showed it to him. So thank you for that.
I would like to. I know you can't show it to him, but I would like to second what Hannah said.
Would you like to give me your what you've seen me
Well,
cook,
I
Frankie?
saw that. Well, I've not seen you cook anything. I've seen you help me prepare gingerbread dough and cut yourself doing so, and not even in the process of like cutting anything for the cook, like cutting an ingredient. You were cutting open a bag of sugar with a knife,
Brown sugar, yes.
and you cut yourself doing that. So there's not a lot of hope for your cooking skills.
I thank you. I know. I'm aware. And he was like, "I think you just have high standards." I don't think my standards are high. I think I'm just bad at cooking.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Thank
you don't
you.
have high standards. You just can't. You're just not, and not everyone's good at cooking.
I'm fine with baking. Like, baking is all about following a recipe, like, to the
I
T.
mean, so is cooking.
Yeah,
Nah, you
but
can freestyle more with cooking.
exactly. And that's my problem.
Like I did
Is
today. I
like,
freestyled tonight with cooking.
yeah, I can't freestyle. I I I don't have like a really good palate. I mean, to be fair, I'm like a human trash can. I will eat anything, even if you don't tell me what's in it. Like I'll eat it. As long as you don't tell me that anything gross is in it, I'll probably eat it. Like if Hannah's dad wouldn't have told me that he made whatever food he made with Dad, I probably would have eaten the whole thing.
It just tasted like refried beans.
But because I knew it was Dad, I was put off by it. But I just don't have like that palate that's like, salt. You add this much. Like I can't season anything. I'm not good at that. Anything I make is gonna be like English bland. And that's not cooking. That's sad. I feel like my cooking would be, you guys know the channel K's Cooking?
Oh my god, yeah, I love Kay's cooking.
Yeah,
Bullying Kay over here.
I think
Kay puts a
me and
lot of
Kay
flavor with that burnt garlic.
I think me and Kay would be the same. The only difference is I would cook the rice. I know how to cook rice. I know how to cook rice very well.
Yeah, I use a
So,
rice cooker.
yeah, rice cookers are amazing. But I
Everyone
also
should use
know
a
how
rice
to
cooker.
Yeah, but I also know how to cook rice even without a rice cooker. So, like, I think
That's
I
good.
did that in college once. You can't
I made
bring
a
rice
chicken
cookers.
rice. I made a chicken rice bowl tonight for dinner.
That actually sounds really good.
It
Yeah.
was very good. I had to freestyle tonight because I had supposed to be chicken like tenders, like skinless chicken tender. They sell chicken strips of breast, and you like chop it up and do that and cook it. I left it out too long. I forgot to put it back in the fridge this morning. And when I got home, Jen was like, "Hey, is this chicken supposed to smell that weird?" I was
Oh.
like, "Nope, it's not.
Oh.
It went bad." So I had to quickly thaw out some chicken thighs that were not boneless, and I had to debone them. And then my recipe called for cooking with the chicken tenders, so the timing was off and the seasoning was off. So I just fucking winged it, and it tasted really good.
It sounds really good. What was I gonna say? There was something else I was gonna say. It's about food. I know we were supposed to make fried rice, but I was lazy, and so was Monique. So,
We'll
um,
make it one day.
yeah, we will. I mean, we picked up stuff at the Oriental Market. I did get, I got a ridiculous amount of jasmine rice this time, just because, like, I feel like I went through it way too fast. So I got like the 5 pound bag.
All right.
There was also something else I wanted to mention about my date. I have in my dating profile, like in my like music, like listening to music, and I have in parentheses like alternative and K-pop, like that type of thing. Very like I don't really go into detail about it, but this guy I went out on a date with asked me about it, and two funny things happened. First off, he was like, "So like, do you have merch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have merch." So he's like, "So do you have the light sticks?" I was like, "Which ones do you want?" Like, "Well, I know you're a fan of BTS." It was like, "Yeah, what version of BTS light stick do you want? Like, what do you want? What are we talking about? Do you want BAP? Like, do you want 17? Because they have different version. EXO, right? NCT. What are we talking about here?" And he was like, "Oh, you're this serious. I did not know." And I let my nerd show, and I don't normally do that, at least on the first date. Um,
Did you mention that you have a empty detergent bottle?
it's not empty anymore, Hannah. We filled it with the same scent.
Filled it with a scent.
Yeah, the same one.
But you still bought an empty bottle.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, um, no, that didn't come up, but he did, because we were at a place on Walnut Street. Apparently there was it was called like Hawaii Gifts or something like that. It was a place that sold like, you know, anime stuff, Pokemon stuff, gaming stuff, and then of course K-pop stuff. So he took me in there. He's like, "Yeah, you ever been here?" And I was like, "No, I haven't because I don't really go into the city anymore." And as we were walking around, we came to a bunch of shelves where all the boy group stuff was, and he's like, um, "So, anything here that catches your eye?" And there were two things, none of which were albums, that I did end up purchasing. Um, one of them, both of them are sold out on Weavers because I try and get stuff on Weavers as soon as I can because it's way cheaper to buy it outright there than to wait for like scalpers to like sell it at a store at a higher price. So, but as we were going through and I was like not finding anything that was catching my interest, he's like, "Oh, none of these are catching your eye." It's like I'm like, not that they don't catch my eye, but I have all of these. He's like, "This is like $1,000 worth of K-pop." I was like, "Oh no, it's more than that."
What economy is this man living in where he says 1,000?
I, he was only pointing to one shelf, but he was like, "What about this album? Do you know this? Do you know this?" And I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's seeing my crazy." And he still wants a second date. So you know what? That's nice.
That's very good.
Women, yeah, don't be afraid to show you're crazy. Although Frankie tells me that I am you used to tell me I was the final test. I'm the first
Yeah,
test
but now I
now,
think you're the
right?
first test. You become the first test. Yeah.
Would you please explain your logic behind why I was the final and now I am the first?
Well, originally the thought process was you're the craziest of my friends, which is true,
Ouch.
and it's not a bad thing. You just are.
Whatever. I'm fine.
And so the thought process, what are you gonna say? Hannah's crazier than you?
Sometimes she calls sheep soup.
I don't think that's that crazy, to be fair.
That is
What?
endearing. What are you talking about?
What have I done
Um,
that is crazy?
maybe
Is
Give me
that a
crazy
one.
is not the
rhetorical
right.
question?
Do you want me to
He
say it in a more
muted!
political? You want to say it in a more political way, a more
Just give
PC
me an
way?
example of what this crazy would be.
What crazy?
You have the biggest personality of all
You
of my
crazy?
friends.
Frankie said I have the biggest personality out of all of my friends.
You do.
Oh.
Wow.
Even more so than Levi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, guys, happy meal.
Unveiling.
Happy meal. I have a happy meal. I have some
Oh my
toys.
Oh my god.
god.
That's
All right.
That's not Jin.
Fucking Jungkook. I already have him.
Okay. Anyway,
No.
the test.
I have another one.
We have an actual episode to get to. We haven't even started it.
Damn it.
Is it
Amanda,
Jungkook?
this is
Yeah.
why you're the
Give
crazy
us
one.
rhythm as a week.
Anyway, finish up your thought process, Frankie.
The reason why you were the final test is I was like, I don't want to scare them away if I really like someone. But then I realized if I really like someone, they have to at least be able to withstand Amanda.
Yeah, I would think so.
And so making you the first test because I don't
Personality.
I don't want to be able to, I don't want to like get deep into a relationship with someone and then be like, and then they can't even withstand me hanging with my friends because of Amanda's personality. So they have to be able to withstand you. So that's the first test now.
Has anybody really like met me? I'm trying to think in college. I don't know. I didn't think I was abrasive
college
in
was-
college.
College was different though, because like we were all kind of together all the time.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to think. Apparently people were afraid of me in college.
But I didn't come up with the test until after we graduated.
Uh-huh. Like I
So.
don't think I'm scary. And I also
You're
don't think
not
I'm
scary.
that
You just have the biggest personality and are the most insane.
stab somebody with a bottle cap one time when they try and take your wine away.
None of my other friends have done this. I've not been stabbed by any of my friends.
Have
honestly,
you tried
except
to
for
take
you.
people's wine away?
No.
Yeah, exactly. There's your problem. Try and take somebody else's alcohol away and see what happens.
All right. Well, let's get to the actual episode. We're moving away. We've moved away from wrestling. I'm taking a break from wrestling after 2 in a row, and we're gonna be talking about Lord Byron tonight.
The
king-
weirdo.
The
He's
king of the
really-
weirdos.
He's a strange
King of the
one.
weirdos, the Playboy poet
Please
himself.
don't call him that.
Other people call him that. What do you mean?
Do you think that was like a nickname that he gave himself? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels like one of those nicknames.
A man who was once called by one of his lovers mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
Who is he? The Joker?
Kind of sounds like
He also-
Amanda.
Whoa.
The nickname he gave himself was Broken Dandy.
That's a horrible nickname.
He called himself that. We're going to be talking about Lord Byron. Now, I will say this. I don't have everything about Lord Byron in this. He did a lot in his life.
Too much.
And there's a lot of crazy stories about him. And he had a lot of things that fed into him being the way he is. I can't capture all of it.
I mean, he did hang out with Mary Shelley, and Mary Shelley famously lost her virginity to her husband on her mom's grave.
Yeah.
I'm not that
And so-
crazy.
No, you're not that crazy. If there's any details about Lord Byron I left out, then feel free to add them in the comments or whatever. Or if Hannah, if you know something that I leave out and you want to really share it, or Amanda, if you know something you really want to share that I've left out at some point, bring it up. But I'm bringing you.
There may be a part
bunch of
2 to
stuff.
this episode sometime in the future.
I know he had a weird foot.
So George, yeah, he did. George Gordon Byron was born on January 22nd, 1788. He was the son of the handsome and extremely wasteful and extravagant Captain John Byron, known as Mad Jack,
Good. That's good.
and his second wife, Catherine Gordon, a Scots heiress who was directly related to James I. Mad Jack married her because she had a lot of money and he needed it. In
Wait,
1790,
James the First of England or James the First of Scotland?
The Scottish king, but he's the same man.
No.
Is he not? He becomes James the First
I'm not getting in this.
because
Are you talking
he
Mary
becomes
Queen of
King
Scots'
James.
son?
Who becomes King James? James the First, who was king of the Scots and then becomes king of England.
There you go. Okay. King the
Yeah.
First of England. King James the First of England. Yes, but he was not the
In
first
17
of Scotland. Okay. I'll
No,
go away
in
now.
No, good job, Hannah. Good job, Hannah.
Good job, Hannah. In 1790, after Mad Jack had squandered most of the fortune, uh, Catherine Gordon and Jack moved to Aberdeen, Scotland. They lived in lodgings on a meager income. Although the residency in Scotland was not to last, John would write to his sister about his wife. She is very amiable at a distance, but I defy you and all the apostles to live with her 2 months, for if anybody could live with her, it was me. Byron's parents then decided to separate. They were going to live in separate houses on the same street to see if the distance would allow them to bear each other.
That's amazing.
Byron was left to be raised by his mother and a nursemaid, Agnes Gray. His parents would meet regularly until they realized that their separation did not solve the problems. John Byron would come to talk to his son, and he was allowed to take Byron to his house to spend one night. And after this one night, John Byron realized he could not tolerate either his son or his wife any longer and left Scotland to live with his sister in France.
How old was the kid at the time? Was he like 2 or something? And he's like, this kid just keeps shitting.
John John left in about sometime in 1790. So yeah, he was 2. Lord Byron was 2.
So this child just never stopped
No,
crying.
he wasn't potty trained yet.
That too. That's why he was crying.
John would not live much longer. He would die in 1791 after what most people believe is tuberculosis, which Lord Byron famously wanted to die from, but he does not. He does not die from tuberculosis.
He just wanted to have the hot girl disease.
He did. Catherine Gordon, his mother, was taught to read at a young age and had a passion for literature, which she would share with her son. Byron would read through the Bible, focusing mostly on the Old Testament, and would also read tales like the Arabian Nights. However, this passion for reading was not the only thing that mother and child shared. Catherine was known for having a violent temper, which Lord Byron inherited. Except he did not speak while he experienced his temper tantrums. On one occasion, there's a story of young Byron biting off a piece of a china saucer during one of his rages.
Oh.
I mean, he just, there are some people who are on the autism spectrum who, whenever they're frustrated, they don't verbalize it, but they like hit themselves in the head and do some things that are not great. Okay, so
Byron's problems were compounded by the lack of money. John spent a lot of money and got his family in debt. When he died, John had incurred even more debt over in France, which burdened Catherine Gordon to the point of having to move to another home in even worse conditions. As Amanda said, Byron was born clubfoot and developed an extreme sensitivity to his lameness because of this. He was of his mother, who he blamed for being born with a deformed foot, and he isolated himself during his youth and was deeply unhappy. In 1798, at the age of 10, he unexpectedly inherits the title and estates of his great uncle William, the 5th Baron Byron. So are the good times going to roll now that he is Lord Byron at the tender age of 10? No. No, he's not. His great uncle, much like his brother, John, the great uncle had spent most of the money of being the Baron Byron. and he had sold the Rockdale estate illegally, which had belonged to the baronship, and more money had to be put into a legal battle to restore the estate to Byron. But they moved out of Scotland into England, where Byron was attended to by a nurse named May Gray, who developed a reputation. Oh, they moved to Nottingham, by the way, specifically. His nurse, May Gray, developed a reputation for perpetually beating him. Lord Byron would be beaten as May Gray attempted to educate him on religion, and then she would abandon the boy in the dark. The darkness particularly frightened the young Byron, as May Gray had led him to believe that the house that they had moved into was haunted. Now, to be fair, Catherine Gordon did not know any of this abuse was occurring until after May Gray had been fired. So she wasn't like endorsing the abuse of her child. After Gray was fired, Byron was put into the care of a trustmaker to the General Hospital, a man named Lavender, in hopes that he could be cured of his lameness. However, Lavender instead also abused the young Byron and would occasionally use him as a servant. After Byron exposed Lavender as a fool, Gordon took her son to visit Dr. Matthew Bailey in London. They took up residence at Sloane Terrace during the summer of 1799, and there Byron started to receive treatment, such as specially designed boots. In August of 1799, Byron entered the school of William Glennie in Dulwich. Glennie was Byron's first serious teacher, but one whom Catherine Gordon would constantly squabble with, especially over the control of her son's schedule. Catherine's action would alienate her both from Glennie and Lord Carlisle, with Byron unable to do anything but observe. Regardless of his suffering, Byron was able to perform his first dash into poetry in 1800 when he wrote a love poem in honor of his cousin, Margaret Parker, who he called, quote, one of the most beautiful of evanescent beings.
Gross. Don't fuck your
She would
cousin.
also inspire another poem 2 years later when she died at the age of 15. Byron
Wait, how old is
refused
he?
in 1800. He is, what is this? He was born in 1788, so he's 12. I
Okay.
don't have an 8, and Margaret Parker died in 1802 at 15, so she would have been 13. So only a year older than him.
Okay. So this isn't even weirder given an age gap. Okay.
Well, this is
No. It's just incest.
yeah, this
all
is
right?
an acceptable age gap. Like
Yes, no, I'm totally fine with the ages.
it's
This
just
is
the
a
incest of the cousin. Yeah, Frankie, you're absolutely right. Don't fuck your cousin.
yeah.
Hey, he's gonna fuck worse
No.
people.
Does he fuck his sister? Oh,
We'll get to
no.
it. Byron refused to let
Frankie.
his lameness. We're gonna get to it. Byron refused to let his lameness prevent him from participating in any of the usual physical activities that schoolboys engaged in, and he was an athlete in school, going through high school, not high school, but what we would call high school, and into college. And on one occasion, he's known actually as a boxer. He was a boxer at some points. On one occasion, though, he did throw his leg brace into a pond in defiance of having to wear it.
Run, Forrest, run.
After living at yeah, after living in Newstead for a while, his mother decided that he was to go to public school, which is not what we think of as public school. Then it's just, school with other people. Byron was sent to school in London, and in 1801 he went to Harrow, one of England's most prestigious schools. In 1803, he falls in love with his distant cousin.
Another one.
Another cousin, Mary Chaworth. Mary Chaworth was older, I don't know how much older, and already engaged. And when she rejected him, she becomes the symbol for Byron's idealized and unattainable love.
Gross.
Byron, while not at school or in college, which we will get to in a minute, Byron lived with his mother at Burgage Manor in Southwell, Nottinghamshire. Although there was some antagonism between mother and son, Byron would cultivate friendships with Elizabeth Pigott and her brother John, with whom he staged 2 plays for the community, along with who he met quite recently at this point in time, his half sister Augusta Mary Byron, his father's daughter from a previous marriage.
No, no.
During this time, with the help of Elizabeth Pigott, who copied many of his rough drafts, he was encouraged to write his first volumes of poetry. We also see at this time, his time at Harlow, shows the evidence of Byron's first. Well, we don't know if it's his first, but we see the first evidence of his attraction to both genders, as in the letters to Byron in the John Murray archive. There's evidence of a previously unremarked, or if short-lived, romantic relationship with a younger boy at Harrow, John Thomas Claridge. Lord Byron is bisexual, and the letters hint that
And
Byron.
there's a fork in the kitchen.
Yeah, and
no
you know
one's
what?
surprised.
And that's not the problem.
That is not the problem.
It's not a problem at all. What is a problem is it sounds like he's gonna fuck his half sister. That's the problem.
We don't know that for sure. We don't know that yet.
I don't like your tone of voice,
I
Franklin.
also don't like your tone of voice.
In 1805, Byron goes to college, goes to Cambridge, and he begins, or he doesn't begin, he continues, I guess is the best word. He continues with the family tradition of piling up debts at an alarming rate,
Me too.
just like his father. He also there meets and forms a close friendship with the younger John Edelston. About his protege, he wrote, "He has been my almost constant associate since October 1805 when I entered. His voice first attracted my attention, his countenance fixed it, and his manners attached me to him forever." After Edelston's death, Byron composed one of his poems, of one of his works, Thyrza, a series of elegies in his memory. And in his later years, he would describe the affair as a violent, though pure love and passion.
Aw. I don't know like the violent part, but the passion thing seems nice.
We also
2 out
get
of
to
those
see
3 words were okay.
love and
The
passion.
violence not great.
Yeah.
We do get to see here one of an early example of Byron not following rules or finding ways around rules.
I'd respect.
Byron loved
Oh
animals.
no. He doesn't fuck animals, right?
At his
Please.
estate.
Oh
No,
my
he doesn't
god.
fuck an animal. No. At his estate, when he was living at his estate, he had a dog that he loved. I forget the name. I didn't write it down. And it's the same dog I'm about to mention, but the
Oh,
dog
no.
dies. And so he loves his dog so much. He loves his dog so much that he builds a statue and buries him with honor, and builds a memorial for his dog on his estate.
As you should.
Yeah.
As
no,
you
mad
should.
respect.
When he's at college, he is told that he is not allowed to bring his pet dog with him, as dogs are
How dare.
banned.
Anna didn't listen either.
Lord Byron, so
No, I
annoyed
get
at
it.
this. Well, Hannah brought her dogs to campus. Byron did follow the rules. He did not bring his dog to campus. He brought a bear.
Oh yeah, I remember this part. I remember hearing about this.
He brings a bear to campus and to the college and argues the rules don't say anything about being forbidden from keeping a bear.
This is the ducklings
Yeah.
all over
Have
again.
we ever mentioned the ducks on here?
I don't
don't
think
remember.
so. When we went to Seton Hill, a student brought a bunch of ducklings and was giving them out to
Just
people.
handing them out. Same type of crazy shit. People stapling bread to trees. We found out Catherine was a part of that.
Lord Byron wins the argument with the college, and the bear stays with him in his room. He would also walk the bear around the college grounds on a chain. He also tried to get the bear enrolled as a student, but he didn't get to do that.
Well, that would be hard.
Maybe he should have had it join the military instead.
Yeah, Voight could have.
Maybe.
The military
Wojtek
more
could have used a
accepting.
friend.
In
100
eight-
years earlier.
Yeah. In 1806, he forms a close, lifelong friendship with John Cam Hobhouse, who stirs his interest in liberal Whiggism. Lord Byron is a part of the House of Lords, and this will be his political formation here. In 1806, he also has his early poems privately printed in a volume entitled Fugitive Pieces. The collection is considered obscene because it ridiculed specific teachers by name and because it contained very erotic verses, mostly towards the cousin
Ugh.
that he's in love with. At the request of his friend, Reverend Thomas Becker, Byron does recall and burn all but 4 copies of Fugitive Pieces and immediately begins compiling a revised version that is less obscene, but this won't be published during his lifetime.
Just let him have his burn book.
Byron's first published volume of poetry, Hours of Idleness, it makes an appearance in 1807. In the Edinburgh Review, there is a sarcastic critique of the book, which provoked Byron to retaliate in 1809 with a couplet satire entitled English Bards and Scotch Reviewers, where he attacks the contemporary literary scene. And this will gain him his first recognition, and he will become famous for attacking the contemporary literary scene to the point where some writers at the time wanted to be attacked by Byron and thought it was a mark of pride to be targeted by him.
I was just about to say, it means you made it at the time.
On reaching his majority in 1809, Byron takes his seat in the House of Lords and then embarks with Hobhouse on the Grand Tour, which is something that all cultured gentlemen back then were expected to do. It would complete their education. It would be a multi-year journey where you explore France and
Oh.
Italy.
Oh, no.
Problem being, they would explore other places as well, but the essential stops were Paris at the beginning and Rome as the final stop. And you would go through Germany, the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark. Problem being, at this point in time, it's the Napoleonic Wars have ravaged Europe, and so he's going to go through he's going to do other things on his grand tour from 1809 to 1811. He travels with Hobhouse for the first year, and his entourage of servants include Byron's trustworthy valet, William Fletcher. Hobhouse and Byron, though, often make Fletcher the butt of their jokes and humor. So instead of touring Europe because of the Napoleonic Wars, he turns to the Mediterranean to avoid his creditors because he is still racking up tons of debt because of what his mother calls a reckless disregard for money. And he's able to meet up with his cousin once again, Mary Chaworth,
Ugh.
still in
Please
love with her,
stop.
because he writes a poem to a lady on being asked my reason for quitting England in the spring. He writes another poem for her. So another reason for choosing to visit the Mediterranean, not just because of the Napoleonic Wars, but he is in love with this area of Western Asia that forms what we see as the Middle East, that borders the Mediterranean Sea. He loves this area of the world. He's very interested by it. He had read about the Ottoman and Persian lands as a child. He liked to learn about Islam, especially Sufi mysticism, and later wrote, "With these countries and events connected with them, all my really poetical feelings begin and end." So he begins his trip in Portugal, where he writes a letter to his friend Mr. Hodgson and describes what he has learned of the Portuguese language, mostly swear words and
Me too.
insults.
Not of Portuguese, but just any language.
He particularly enjoyed his stay in Sintra, which he later described as, quote, glorious Eden. From Lisbon, he travels overland to Seville, the Jerez de la Frontera, Cadiz, and Gibraltar, and from there by sea to Sardinia, Malta, Albania, and Greece. The reason why they went to Albania was to meet with Ali Pasha of Yanama, an Albanian ruler who served as the Ottoman Pasha of the Pashalik of Yanina. And so he was a ruler there for under the Ottoman Empire. And they met with him. And they also wanted to see a country that was largely unknown in Britain. In Greece, Byron begins writing the work that will send him to superstardom, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, which he continues through his travels and is a largely autobiographical work about his travels. In March of 1810, he sails with Hobhouse for Constantinople, visits the site of Troy, swam the Hellespont in imitation of Leander, and the sojourn in Greece makes a lasting impression on him. Their free and openness in their culture contrasts strongly with the English reserve and hypocrisy that he sees, and broadens his views of the world. And he's delighted in the sunshine and moral tolerance of the people. And he later wrote to his sister, quote, "If I am a poet, the air of Greece has made me one." Byron will arrive back in London in July 1811, but his mother will die before he could reach her at Newstead.
Oh, mommy's boy now without a mom.
In February of 1812, he makes his first speech in the House of Lords, a humanitarian plea opposing harsh Tory measures against riotous Nottingham weavers. And at the beginning of March of that year, the first two cantos of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage were published by John Murray, and Byron, in his own words, woke to find himself famous.
Byron Mania.
The poem describes, Byron Mania. It's Byron Mania, everybody. Everyone is loving the man. He's a pretty boy, to be fair. He is gorgeous looking.
His foot isn't.
Well, don't look at the foot. No feet
The
are good
face
looking,
card
to be
doesn't
fair.
decline, though.
Yes. The poem describes the travels and reflections of a young man who, disillusioned with a life of pleasure and revelry, looks for distraction in foreign lands. Besides furnishing a travelogue of Byron's own wanderings through the Mediterranean, the first two cantos express the melancholy and disillusionment felt by a generation weary of the wars of the post-revolutionary and Napoleonic eras. Byron reflects on the vanity of ambition, the transitory nature of pleasure, and the futility of the search for perfection in the course of a pilgrimage through Portugal, Spain, Albania, and Greece. In the wake of this, of the popularity of this work, he is lionized in Whig society. He becomes a celebrity, like Amanda said. It's Byron Mania in England. He became the most brilliant star in Regency London. He's sought after at every society venue. He's elected to several exclusive clubs, goes to the most fashionable drawing rooms, and he's producing works pretty frequently. The GR, The Bride of Abydos, Parashina, and The Siege of Corinth. On the initiative of the composer Isaac Nathan, in 1814 and 1815, he produces the Hebrew Melodies, including what will become some of his best-known works, such as She Walks in Beauty and The Destruction of Sennacherib. In 1812, Byron, we are finally going to start with Byron's love life now again. We're in 1812. He's going to start an affair, well-publicized affair, with the married Lady Caroline Lamb. And it's going to shock the British public.
Shocking.
Lady Caroline Lamb is the one who's going to describe him as mad, bad, and dangerous to know. The affair is going to last from March to August of 1812. And she ages. We're good on ages, everybody. Just want to point that out. Byron is 24. and Lady Caroline is 26.
Cool.
They're going to have their first meeting at a society event at Holland House. And he will approach her, and she will spurn his attention.
Heartless.
She then writes him a fan letter, and his response is to visit her
Oh.
and pursue her passionately.
And this is what the people who wish they were like K-pop stars, like, or who write letters to K-pop stars, this is what they wish would happen. Like, they write a letter and they're so like enamored that they have to meet you. You know?
They are having an affair,
You don't say.
and privately saying how much they love each other, but publicly just insulting each other.
Ah, so it's kind of like that hate fucking thing.
People know they're having an affair. He's referring to her as Caro, and she adopts this as her public nickname. Byron ends the affair, and Lady Caroline goes to Ireland with her husband. They're still corresponding, though. When she comes back to London in 1813, Byron is like, we're not restarting this relationship, all right? It's over. We're done. She is not happy about this. They go to a ball in honor of the Duke of Wellington when Byron will publicly insult her, and she will respond. This is I want to give a content warning here. So Hannah, if you'll include this in the description.
Who? Oh no.
Yep.
Content warning.
What kind of content warning?
Content warning for self-harm.
No.
For self-harm. Most historians and even her contemporaries do not think she had any suicidal intentions, but after being insulted by Lord Byron so publicly, she responds by breaking a wine glass and trying to slash her wrists.
No bueno.
Lady Caroline will become obsessed with Byron. She loses so much weight that Byron comments to her mother-in-law that he was haunted by a skeleton. She begins to stalk him, going to his house, sometimes dressed in disguises. One of the visits, she wrote on a book at his desk, "Remember Me," which Byron responded by writing a hate poem.
Oof.
So, yeah, this is the kind of passion this man is inspiring.
I don't like it anymore.
I don't like it either. During all of this, Byron has moved on. He's now having an affair with another woman,
Is this one also married?
Lady Oxford. They're all fucking
So
married.
yes. You could have just said yes.
Yes, they're all married. This time, though, he's seeing an older woman. She's 14. Lady Oxford is 14 years older than
I'm supposed to be
Byron.
impressed. I'm not.
You don't have to be. I'm just saying.
She's not his half sister.
You know what,
or
Ed? I was
cousin.
just-
Yeah, and to be fair, hey, Amanda, to be fair, during this time period, when a man is not having an affair with a girl that is significantly younger than him, that's good. We're moving
You're
in the
right.
right direction. That's usually how
You're
it
right.
goes. But they're not having an affair with children.
Thank God.
The affair ended when Lady Oxford goes abroad with her husband, but Byron did not follow her as she hoped. There's no evidence of any of her being so obsessed with him. And then we come to 1813. Amanda, it's gonna get worse.
Why do you have to tell me these things, Frankie?
What did he tell you?
Yeah, I know,
We're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about fucking half sisters
Well, I haven't told it yet.
and stuff.
Oh, like having sex with Cassie.
Yeah, that is what's
not
about to
just
happen.
Cassie.
Uh-huh.
No.
In 1813, he's going to meet for the first time in 4 years his half sister, Augusta Lee. Her name is Augusta Lee now because she's married to Colonel George Lee. That's right. Once again, a married woman.
I mean, he didn't like single women, like in general.
That's true.
This is upsetting.
There
I hope you know this.
are a lot of rumors of them
Ugh.
sleeping together.
Not only am I gonna have to write a content
And
warning for
incest.
self-harm, I'm also gonna have to write a content yeah, for incest as well.
There's
Way to go, Frankie.
also, well, wait,
Shut
it's
up.
gonna get worse.
Stop talking.
I
Don't
I
tell
wanna
me.
know.
Don't tell me.
have to. This is a big part of
It's
Lord
not.
Byron's life.
It's not.
It is a big part of his life. This is one of the reasons. Augusta has a daughter in the spring of 1814 named Elizabeth Medora Lee.
And it was her husband's end of story. Let's
Mhm.
move on.
And there is some evidence to suggest that it
No,
is
it's
Lord
not. It's
Byron's
not. It's
daughter.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not. We're not doing this. I hate this.
See, I knew this was coming. I was an English major. I talked about Lord Byron. I know about Lord
Yeah.
Byron and the weird shit he did. I knew this was coming. I really hoped from the bottom of my heart we could just avoid this topic
Yeah.
tonight.
Frankie doesn't want to
can't.
do things like avoid topics that are grody.
Well, here's the thing. Lord Byron is going to move away from having affairs very briefly.
Yeah, because doesn't he get him married?
He's getting married, Amanda. Ring the bells. He's
To a
getting married.
cousin.
No, to a non-family member.
Wow, the bar
Yeah.
is in hell.
He's getting married to a non-family member in September of 1814. He proposes. Why can't I find the
I don't
name? I
know,
wrote it down.
Frankie.
He proposes to Anne Isabella Milbanke.
Wonderful.
They get married in 1815. This is not the first time he proposes, however. So he meets her in 1812 and he proposes marriage through her aunt. She, in response, wrote a summary of his character and refused the marriage.
Good for you, girl.
She was aware of his shortcomings, but she decided it was her religious obligation to support him and improve his behavior.
No, don't try and fix him. He can't be fixed.
When he proposes a second time,
No.
she accepts.
Dumbass.
And they get married on January 2nd, 1815.
I was rooting for you.
And this is after the possible incest too.
Yes, this is after
That is
the possible
probably
incest.
known.
Because there are rumors, because the daughter is born in
Of course.
1814. Byron at this point is in extreme financial distress. He doesn't receive any payment for his written works because he believes business is not appropriate for a gentleman. And he gives the copyrights to the people who helped him publish his works or write his works. He's having difficulty
respect it.
selling.
I don't.
But
Yeah, but he's having trouble selling his estates to help clear his debts. And he begins to unleash his anger and hostility on his wife. He begins to drink heavily. He then begins having an affair with an actress in London. His wife is pregnant at the time, and she thinks her husband is going mad.
Yes.
She writes to her sister-in-law
Get me the fuck out of here.
about his mood and behavior. The sister-in-law shows up. She becomes the subject of Byron's wrath, and they believe he's temporarily insane. And then on December 10th, she gives birth to the couple's only child, Ada. Augusta Ada King, the Countess of Lovelace, eventually known
Yeah,
as Ada
she's a
Lovelace,
celebrity.
who is a fucking genius in
she's
her
cool.
own right and is a super cool woman.
Why couldn't we talk about her?
She's not as weird as her father.
we have a Bad Bitches of History playlist.
Yeah, this is a Freaks of History playlist. So in January of 1816, they're married for a year. Byron decides they have to move from their rented house at Piccadilly Terrace. He recommends that Annabella take their daughter to her parents and stay there until he settles their finances. Annabella thinks her husband's truly gone mad. She brings a doctor to the house to assess him. It's like, you should do what he requested. She then contacts his solicitor and friend, tells him about she's concerned that her husband's going to kill himself. And then she takes Ada and goes to her parents' house in Leicestershire and will not see her husband again.
Ever?
Ever.
That's awesome. Good for you. Run. Run!
She still writes to him. They're still married. Her parents or her lawyer recommends a legal separation. And the lawyer sends a letter proposing this to Byron. Augusta, the half sister, intercepts the letter and fears that Byron would commit suicide if he knew of it, and returns the letter and communicated her opinion that greater consideration should be taken in the matter of the marriage. The messenger sends the proposal again. This time he gets it and refuses to believe that she no longer wants to be married. He refuses to dissolve the marriage. And then this is when Lady Byron is like, hey, says, hey, I think you're having sex with your sister. I think you've had gay relationships and you've sodomized me, all acts which were illegal. He changes his mind. He agrees to grant her the request if she proves that the request for legal separation is truly hers and not of her parents. She personally communicates her feelings, and Byron keeps his word, and they separate. Just briefly about Annabella, they did get divorced, and she is still kind of obsessed with him until she dies. She still believes she can save his soul and secure him a place in heaven. She keeps all of his letters, copies of her own to him, letters about him, and it's going to define the rest of her life.
That makes me sad.
Byron is still, like I said, he's having affairs during this time. There's swirling rumors about his incestual relationship with his half-sister, about his bisexuality. He's being accused of sodomy and incest by his ex-wife. He becomes afraid that a crowd might lynch him if he is seen in public. So he leaves in April of 1816. He leaves England, and he will never return.
Exiled.
He sails up the Rhine River into Switzerland, settles in Geneva, where Percy Shelley and his soon-to-be new wife, Mary Shelley, are living.
Yep.
Mary Godwin at this point. And they're living there with Claremont, Mary Godwin's half-sister.
Who he fucked.
By the
and
way,
had the kid with, right?
Yeah, Byron did have an affair, had already started an affair with Claremont in England.
Not so.
In Geneva, he's going to write the third canto of Childe Harold, which follows Harold from Belgium up the Rhine River to Switzerland, memorably evoking the historical associations of each place he visits, giving pictures of the Battle of Waterloo, of Napoleon and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and of the Swiss mountains and lakes. He will write the Faustian poetic drama Manfred. For 3 days in June of 1816, the group they'll all devise their own tales, which is famous, where Mary Shelley will write what would become Frankenstein, and Byron's own physician, John William Polidori, inspired by his employer, Lord Byron, writes The Vampire. The Vampire, I guess.
The Vampire with a Y.
Yeah, Vampire with a Y. Which will be the first vampire story. Not the first, but the one that will lead to...
The first big one.
First big one, and will lead to what we know as the modern romantic vampire.
Yes. This is where we get a lot of the tropes that are just then solidified in Carmilla and Dracula.
since Dracula is inspired by that, we could say that Lord Byron is the inspiration for Dracula because he's the inspiration for the character in The Vampire.
I'm not gonna say that because I don't want. No,
I don't want to
he
give it
doesn't
to
deserve
him.
it right now. Not after everything he's done. Fucking his sister.
So after, at the end of the summer, the Shelley party leaves for England, where Claremont will give birth to Byron's daughter Allegra in January of 1817. In October, Byron and his good buddy Hobhouse, who has joined him, depart for Italy. They go to Venice, where Byron will enjoy the relaxed customs and morals of the Italians and have an affair with Mariana Segatti, his landlord's wife.
They're not related, right?
They're not related. He's done
Okay,
fucking his
good.
family.
Good.
No more family fucking.
I appreciate that. Really. It's gross.
He then stops having an affair with Mariana Segatti to have an affair with the also married Margherita Cogni, who is 22 years old at the time. Byron is 29. Cogni could not read or write, and she left her husband to move in with Byron. And their fighting often caused Byron to spend the night in his gondola. And when he
That is
asked her to leave,
hilarious.
yeah, he just sleep in his little boat. And then when he asked her to leave the house, she threw herself into one of the canals.
That
she
is less
okay?
funny.
I don't know what happened to her.
Frankie! You can't just drop that lore.
Let's look and see if that's how she dies. I don't think it is. But I can't find anything
Oh, it
about how she
definitely
dies.
is probably how she dies. Wonderful. Thanks, Frankie. This is such a fun story.
She's not a famous woman. She's the baker's wife.
I'm not a famous woman, and I don't want to die in a canal.
I know.
Do you?
I don't want to die in a canal, so I can imagine you not
Well,
wanting
good.
to.
I'm glad.
Also, by the way,
Oh, no.
he's living in the house. Remember, he had the affair before with Mariana Segatti. I forgot this. He's still living in that house.
Everything you tell me is just more upsetting. I'm just upset.
She did drown
Way to
herself.
go, Frankie. Way to give us this sad tale. Whale of a tale.
The content warding is
Yeah,
getting
you're
bigger.
just really you're up in the ante. At least when I gave my story that was about death metal and shit, I came off right off the bat saying, no, not this episode.
In May, he joins Hobhouse in Rome, gathering impressions that he recorded in a fourth canto of Childe Harold. He will also write Beppo, a poem that satirically contrasts Italian with English manners in the story of a Venetian threesome. Will also finally sell Newstead Abbey in the autumn of 1818 for £94,500, which will clear him of all his debts and leave him with a generous income.
He doesn't deserve it.
He will also, in 1818, begin to write his most famous work, and it will be published in July of 1819, Don Juan.
No wonder the Phantom of the Opera liked this guy.
He will write the first two cantos of Don Juan here in 1818 and publish them in July of 1819. Don Juan, though, does remain unfinished. Byron will complete 16 cantos in his life and begin the 17th before he dies. In 1818, Shelley and other visitors that he had would find that Byron had grown fat, with hair long and turning gray, and looking older than his years, and sunk into sexual promiscuity.
Don't say that.
Now,
This man
I
is
hate
like
this.
30.
he is 30 years old, yes. And we're about to get a problematic age gap?
I'm done. Can I rage quit?
No. He's going to meet Countess Teresa Gamba
Don't
Giuiccioli,
even try.
who has been married, I want to point out, Count Guiccioli, for 3 days.
And she's how old?
And she is, when they meet, she is 19.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
is an
legal,
adult.
so I can't be mad. I can be uncomfy with it, but
As
I can't
long-
be like mad. Does that make sense?
She's legal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
She's legal. End of story.
And the Count is nearly 3
Yeah, but
times her age.
Let's think of Hugh Hefner, all right? That's also gross.
That's
Yeah,
gross. I won't
exactly.
think of Hugh
It is
Hefner.
worse.
worse.
And right, so
Her husband is older than Byron.
oh. I-
Her husband is the one that's
Ugh.
3 times her age. So, meeting her re-energizes Byron. And he's just like, yes, fucking go. Gonna move to Ravenna in January of 1820 as her gentleman in waiting and become friends with her father
I thought
and
you were gonna
brother.
say husband.
That would be really
No.
good, wouldn't it? He goes on a writing spree in Ravenna. He writes The Prophecy of Dante. He writes 3 more cantos for Don Juan. He writes Mariano Faliero, Sardanapalus, The Two Foscari, Cain, and a satire on the poet Robert Southey called The Vision of Judgment. To learn a lot about what his life is to right now from a letter that Alex Shelley wrote when he would visit Lord Byron. Lord Byron gets up at 2. I get up, quite contrary to my usual custom, at 6. At 12. After breakfast, we sit talking till 6. From 6 to 8, we gallop through the pine forests which divide Ravenna from the sea. We then come home and dine and sit up, gossiping till 6 in the morning. I don't suppose this will kill me in a week or a fortnight, but I shall not try it longer. Lord Byron's establishment consists, besides servants, of 10 horses, 8 enormous dogs, 3 monkeys, 5 cats, an eagle, a crow, and a falcon. And all these, except the horses, walk about the house, which every now and then resounds with their unarbitrated quarrels as if they were the masters of it. P.S. I find that my enumeration of the animals in the Circean palace was defective. I have just met on the grand staircase 5 peacocks, 2 guinea hens, and an Egyptian crane. So living the dream, really, with all these
He has a menagerie.
animals. Yeah, 10 horses, 8 dogs, 3 monkeys, 5 cats, eagle, crow, falcon, 5 peacocks, 2 guinea hens, and an Egyptian crane. All of them except for the horses just wandering around the house.
Which one is the alpha, I
A
wonder?
guinea horn.
The guinea
Yeah,
hen.
that.
One
I
of
would say
them.
the eagle.
No, he has to have like a little chihuahua.
Oh, Percy Shelley says they're all 8 enormous dogs. But I don't know what Percy Shelley's definition of enormous is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Enormous in personality and temperament? Because Truffles,
November-
she's a little dog, but she has an enormous personality.
Russian spy.
In November of 1821, Byron will arrive in Pisa, having followed Teresa and the Count Gamba, her father, there after her father had been expelled from Ravenna for taking part in an uprising that was quickly stopped. He left his daughter Allegra, who had been sent to him by her mother to be educated in a convent near Ravenna, where she died the
He was like
following
2,
April.
right?
She was
Whatever.
5.
That's
5.
young. Oh, poor tiny child.
In Pisa, Byron will again become associated with Percy Shelley, and in early summer of 1822, Byron goes to Livorno, where he rents a villa not far from the sea. In July, the poet Leigh Hunt arrives from England to help Shelley and Byron edit a radical journal called The Liberal. Byron returns to Pisa and houses Hunt and his family in the villa. The periodical will move forward, and its first number will contain the vision of judgment, but it goes forward without Percy Shelley as he has died on July 8th.
Is this where he asks his wife to, like, hey, can I drink from your husband's skull?
Yes, he does. So Byron asks Mary Shelley at Percy's funeral to keep Percy's skull because he wanted to drink out of it. Mary
Thank
Shelley
you, Mary.
refuses.
Thank you for being the normal person.
That was too goth, even for
No.
Mary Shelley.
To be fair, Lord Byron had drank out of skulls
monk
before.
skulls or whatever.
Yeah, monk skull. So Newstead Abbey was, before it was an estate, was an actual abbey. There were monks buried on the property that he had skeletons of, and he.
What, Frankie? You died.
I think we can fill in the blanks,
You
but
drank
tell
from
us
the monk
anyway.
skulls? I think you drank.
He desecrated
Yeah,
the graves.
He drank some monk skulls. He would find the skeletons, take the skulls, turn them into cups. In September of 1821 or 1822, he will move to Genoa, where Teresa's family had found asylum. And his interest in the Liberal begins to wane, but he will continue to support Hunt and give manuscripts to it. And after a quarrel with his publisher, John Murray, he gives all of his later work to Leigh Hunt's brother, John, the publisher of the Liberal. So around this time, he is in search of a new adventure. He wants to do something. In April of 1823, he agrees to act as the agent of the London Committee, which had been formed to aid the Greeks in their struggle for independence from Turkish rule. At first, Byron's like, I don't want to leave, though. He's living with Teresa, who had abandoned her husband to live with him. But eventually, her father is allowed to leave his exile under the condition that his daughter return to him without Byron.
Oof.
And she does. At the same time, Edward Blaquier was attempting to recruit him. Byron was confused as to what he was supposed to be doing in Greece. Writing, he seems to think that I might be of some use even here, though what he did not exactly specify. So his girlfriend's left him, and in July of 1823, he's going to leave Genoa for Catalonia. Byron will initially stay on the island where he is besieged by agents of the rival Greek factions, all of whom want to recruit him for their own causes. Byron spent £4,000 of his own money, the equivalent of around £403,000, to refit the Greek fleet. And then he then travels to the mainland of Greece on December 28th, 1823. And his ship is surprised by an Ottoman warship, but he's not attacked. So he's then forced to take a roundabout route, and he only reaches the mainland on January 5th of 1824. After arriving, he joins forces with a Greek politician with military power, Alexandros Mavrocordatos. He then starts funding the Greek army, the Soliotes. He gives them about £6,000. And he's supposed to lead an attack on the Ottoman forces, whose Albanian garrison were unhappy due to not being paid, and they offered to put up a token resistance if Byron was willing to bribe them into surrendering. However, the Ottoman commander executes the Albanian officers who were offering to surrender and paid out to the rest of the garrison the money that they were owed. Byron never led the attack, though, because the Soliotes kept demanding that Byron pay them more and more money before they would go. Byron grew tired of the blackmail and sent them all home. At the same time, Teresa, her brother, Pietro Gamba, has followed Byron to Greece. But he's apparently not that good at this. He's incompetent and he makes expensive mistakes.
Me too.
When he was asked to buy some cloth from Corfu, Gamba orders the wrong cloth in excess, causing the bill to be 10 times higher than what it was supposed to be. So to help raise money for the revolution, Byron sells his estate in England, his final estate in England, Rockdale Manor, and gets about £11,000. And so Byron thinks he's got about £20,000 total, which is about £2 million. He's trying to unite the various Greek factions, and they're going to attack him, and the politician Mavro Cordados are going to attack the Turkish-held fortress of Lepanto at the Gulf of Corinth. And he takes part of the rebel army under his own command, and they're about to set sail. But before he can do so, he falls ill on February 15th, 1824. And he is weakened because the doctors are like, we know how to cure your disease, Byron.
Leeches.
We're going to drain you of your blood. Yep. They bloodlet him.
Yep.
And he makes a partial recovery. Then in early April, he gets a cold. They bleed him again, which makes it worse. He gets a fever, and he dies in Greece on April 19th, 1824.
Yay, the end.
I hate that this ended with a war story.
Yeah, but what a turn of events. Did you expect that at the beginning? Like, we're talking about a poet who likes to fuck too much.
Too much fucking. Too much family fucking.
And all of a sudden, he's like, I'm going to lead Greece to independence.
I mean, you could have told me that Byron decided he was Santa Claus and tried to go down a chimney, and I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. So I'm really not surprised that he decided he wanted to go to war.
So, despite his wishes, because he never wanted to return, his body is taken back to England. And they try to have him buried in Westminster Abbey.
They were like, nah.
And the Abbey says, no. Yeah, because of his questionable morality, they go, nope.
I'm good. We'll say no, thanks.
So he's instead placed in the family burial vault near
Thanks for
Newstead,
thinking of us. No.
at the Church of St. Mary Magdalene in Nottinghamshire. There is a marble slab given by the King of Greece laid directly above Byron's grave. And his daughter, Ada Lovelace, was buried beside him upon her death. And 145 years later, a memorial to Lord Byron was placed on the floor of Westminster Abbey. We also know that Lord Byron, during his lifetime, was writing a memoir.
It got burnt, didn't it?
The memoir, it was never published because his friends found it and burnt it, either to protect his reputation or, more likely, because, let's be honest, his reputation wasn't much. Yeah, to avoid being implicated in scandals of their own. And that's the life of Lord Byron.
Weird.
A weird
Very
man.
weird.
He is the king of the freaks of history.
No,
a true freak of
Tarrar's
history.
Tarrar. He's still up there.
Here's the thing, no one wanted to take the crown, Byron, except for Byron. So they just let him.
Who's weirder to you, Amanda? Lord Byron or Tarrar?
To quote
really?
Hannah, where did the apples go? The man ate a cat. He ate a cat, and his whole body was filled with pus.
that is it for tonight's episode then, unless anyone else has something they'd like to add.
I'm sad. It's too much family fucking. Don't do that.
Too much well, any family
Yeah,
fucking
you're
is too
right.
much
You're
family
right.
fucking.
But this was like an exceedingly like I can probably handle one.
He
You
only
could've-
ever fucked one.
Yeah,
To
but
be
he did
fair,
it multiple
his cousins,
times.
he didn't fuck his cousins. He just loved
Yeah,
his
but
cousins.
that also is not.
Or it was in love. Sorry, not just loved. He was in
Yeah,
love with his
that
cousins.
also makes it worse. I've never once had a crush on my cousin or any family member.
That's
In
good. I'm
fact,
glad.
I vaguely remember my one friend in high school had a crush on my uncle, and I was like, if you're gonna keep being weird about this, then we can't be friends.
Hannah, anything you'd like to share?
Don't fuck your family.
Just don't.
That's some good advice.
Don't fuck
Some good advice from
animals.
us here at the
Don't
Nothing
fuck
to
your
See Here podcast.
family.
Well, he didn't fuck animals. He
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
fuck
just
animals.
saying. We gotta put that out there.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode and this rendition of Freaks of History. King Freak Lord Byron.
He's not a king. He's not the king. He's not the king.
He is. He's the king of the freaks.
He has named himself king. No one's going to tell him otherwise because no one else
You're
wants
right.
the
Nobody
crown.
else wants the crown.
Next week we're back with Scooby-Doo, and we're back to a movie again. It's the first of the fucking we're doing movies every year, bitch series
The
for
vampire
Scooby-Doo.
one?
Yeah, I'll be taking us through Scooby-Doo and the
Ugh,
Legend
so
of the
good.
Vampire. I have unfortunate news that I'm gonna break to Hannah and
No.
Amanda right now.
Oh.
I don't know how this happened. I don't remember doing it. I don't know what it was. The list of all the Scooby-Doo movies has been deleted.
What?
The list that we had is gone.
Where is the list? What do you mean?
Well, it was on Google
Like-
Drive and it's gone.
On your
just
personal Google
disappeared.
Drive.
Well, here's the thing. I think what happened is my Seton Hill account has finally been like
So has mine.
deleted. And it was started
Way
on
to go.
there. So because of that, it's gone. So I'm gonna have to recompile it and we'll have to re-add which ones we wanted
That's
to do.
good. I remember the ones I wanted to do.
So we will have to do that.
Are we
My
doing that
apologies.
now?
But no, not now, not now. I'll share the list with you guys once I've remade it. But next week's I do remember is Curse of or Legend of the Vampire. I remember I had my name on that one, so we'll be doing that. So we'll see a vampire, and we will get the return of the Hex Girls.
Yeah, and we'll get Velma singing. She sings at the
She
very
does
end
sing
of it. Yeah.
right at the end.
All right, well, with all of that, let's wrap this up. As a recording, we're on YouTube and Spotify. If you're listening to us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell for notifications so you know when our episodes are uploaded. If you're listening to us on Spotify, remember to follow the show, leave a rating and a review, and answer the fan question: who is the king of the freaks, Lord Byron or Terrare? No matter where you're watching or listening to the show, remember to share us with anyone you think might be interested in any of the wide variety of topics that we discuss here. If you would like to send us an email, questions you'd like us to answer, ideas for episodes, your thoughts about episodes, anything really, you can send us an email over to
Nothing to See Here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled HEAR.
if you would like to see some great artwork created by Amanda, some funny memes created by Hannah, and images of the things that we discuss, in our episodes, and you can find all of that and more over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to see here, pod.
And I think that is everything. So with that, thank you for listening. Join us next week for Scooby Doo and saying goodbye and good night. It's Frankie.
Hannah.
I need to go like bleach my ears. I know you can bleach your eyes, but like, is bleaching ears a thing?
Well, you can't. Well, you can't. Don't bleach your
Yeah,
eyes ever. Don't do
no,
that.
but
Don't
like,
do that. Don't do that.
Don't bleach your ears
Do
either.
not bleach your eyes ever.
I need to forget.
Go listen to something calming.
Go listen to a Scooby Doo
No,
episode.
I don't want to.
Go listen to some
Oh,
BTS.
how dare you! I'm not changing BTS. I can't listen to BTS where my mind is at right now. You see what you've done, Frankie?
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what I've done.
Apologize.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Apologize.
Bye.